How can Texas stay in front of the sticks? That's going to be the key to them to victory for Texas, right? Because if you look at third down, Texas is 63rd. They're ranked 63rd in the nation in third down percentage, converting 40.8% of the time. A&M is first in the nation, only allowing a first down on third downs at 21.7%. Advantage A&M in that aspect, right? A&M does a very good job of attacking early, putting pressure on offenses to keep them in that third and long scenario. And third and long, for a lot of you folks that it may not know, right, is plus 5 yards essentially, is what most would consider third and long. So when you get into those aspects, a lot of the time you're passing the ball. So you're putting it on Arch, just like they have in different games. As maybe Georgia is our most recent example when he struggled, right? Arkansas wasn't, they did very well. They moved the ball. They moved the ball really well. They did have some struggles early on in the game where it was a score fest at first, and then it became a punt-a-thon, and then they went back to, just being able to attack on him. But if you look at the games where he did struggle, they were in those third and long. They did not have that running attack. Now, they are 110th in the nation in rushing. If you look at how it's stacked up against some of the tougher teams that they've faced, they ran for 166 yards against Ohio State. They lost 7-14. They ran for 52 yards against Florida, lost by 10 points, was it? I don't remember the exact score there. They ran for 133 yards against Oklahoma. They won that game. They ran for 100 yards even against Vanderbilt. They ran for 97 yards against Arkansas last weekend. And then they ran for 23 yards against Georgia. So the key for A&M in this aspect is to get them in those second and third and long scenarios, stop the run early. They do not have a solid top rusher on that side. Their Texas running or backfield is getting a little healthier. They've been getting a little healthier as the season's gone on. Wisner's their top rusher, but they don't have that explosive back that's going to make you say, hey, we've got to stack the box and we need to do this. But if A&M's able to get pressure early, send a couple more blitzes, be able to play some man-to-man on the outside to where they put that pressure on Arch like he has been done in these games that they've lost and that have been really close games, that's going to be the key to success for A&M. They need to keep them out of the red zone. A&M is 130th in red zone defense, letting the opponent score 93.3% of the time. So when they get in the red zone, if they get inside the 20-yard line, there's a 93% chance that team is going to score on A&M. Texas is 76th in offensive scoring in the red zone at 83.7%. So that does not fare well for A&M. They need to keep Texas out of the red zone, just like they got to keep every team out of the red zone because they can't stop them when they get down there. They've had a somewhat of a struggle against a running attack. So in this game, with Texas not having a rushing offense, that really helps. Put the pressure on Arch. Let your defensive ends, Howe, on the end, pin their ears back, go back there, create havoc, turn the ball over, put them into bad situations. On the other side of the ball, what A&M needs to do is they need to run the ball. They need to come out and establish a running attack with Reuben Owens, E.J. Smith, Amari Daniels, whoever it is that they want to give the ball to. They have three solid running backs there that they can hand the ball off to. It's unfortunate that Le'Veon Moss wasn't able to come back for this game. It looks like they're going to keep him out a couple more weeks, potential conference championship game, maybe just the playoffs. At this point, A&M is almost a lock for the playoffs unless, like we talked about, they lose by 100 points or whatever's crazy. But that's going to be the key to them. They need to run the ball well to where they can control the time of possession. They obviously can score at any given moment with weapons like, Concepcion and Craver and, Bethel Roman, all these guys. They can do that at any time. And great, if you're going to score, score. But with controlling that line of scrimmage and running the ball, that puts more pressure on Arch and that Texas passing offense to say, hey, we have to actually throw the ball. And every time we get the ball, we need to score. we can't have these 3-and-outs. We can't do that. We're going to have to get on the field and we have to score every time. That forces them to push the ball downfield more. That's going to force them to get into those risky situations and make turnovers. And something that you've pointed out in the past is that when Arch has gotten into those big situations and you throw some confusing defenses at him, can he really read what's going on out there, right? Can he read a coverage when they're you know they're showing blitz, but they're really going to drop back into zone or vice versa, right? Can he really see what's actually happening out there? So if they can go out there and they can control that line of scrimmage, eat on that clock some, keep that time of possession in the Aggies' favor, and then score. That's how you win a ball game, period. So, I'm just kind of speaking in general here. But if you go out there and put that pressure on Arch, I think he crumbles. I do think A&M wins this game. It does make me, obviously it is a rivalry game, and you never know what's going to happen. Texas is going to come out with a lot of energy. They're going to have a lot of energy here. They're going to have something to prove. They still think that they can get into the playoffs, which is crazy being 3 losses, but the committee's kept them close enough just in case some chaos happens, and they do beat A&M. I think this A&M team feels disrespected. I think Elko is going to have them ready. He's talked about, hey, this is what we've been training for, and not just what we've been preparing for all season. It's what they did in the fall. It's what they did in the summer. I think he's really going to have these guys jacked up to where they don't come out and they don't have to make that, second half comeback and turn the wheels around. I think you see probably something that stays close in the first half, somewhere around that 7 to 14 point range, and then they go and they make those adjustments, and then by that end of that third quarter, fourth quarter, there may be some people rolling out of DKR, and hopefully they're wearing orange there. I think it's going to be a big win for the Aggies, and they make a statement as well. You got any score predictions?
Give me confidently the Aggies winning 35-14.
I was going to say 38-14.
That ain't no guess.
So that's
what it's going to be.
Yeah, I had 38-14.